Okay, this is the advanced masking. We're going to make a little more advanced selection and make a mask, and then we're actually going to refine that selection by brushing, using the brush tool and the hardness and the softness of the brush to get exactly what we want. So my favorite tool, as I told you last time, is this quick selection tool. So if yours isn't showing, maybe the magic wand tool is showing, so make sure your quick select tool is showing. And we're going to basically erase the background, just show the Ranger vehicle and then maybe the top left portion of these rocks, and maybe that works for our design. So I'm just going to start clicking and dragging, but before I do that I need to change this background layer. It's locked right now, and to make a mask we need it not to be locked. So I'm going to take care of that before I make a selection, just so I don't have to worry about it later. And if you double click on that layer and just name it layer 0, it's now not locked. So it's an important little step to start with. And then I'm going to, on that layer 0 now, I'm going to just make my brush a little bit bigger and just start kind of selecting around the truck. And now you have two options. You can select around the truck, or you can select the truck, and when you make your mask, remember you can say which direction you want the mask to show up, and I'll show you that in just a second. I'm not going to spend too much time really refining this because we're going to use our brush tool, but this is a little bit better. I don't know about a better, but definitely a better selection to get our tool, our mask going. So I feel that's a pretty good. Get this little mirror in there, so that's decent. That gives me a starting point. So I'm going to go up to layer and do see if I can remember where it lives. Layer mask, and do if you chose the Jeep or the Land Rover, you would want a reveal selection. Or I chose the background, so I actually want to hide the background, so I want to hide selection. If you get confused, it's not a big deal. It just flips it backwards. So you can always undo and go back and to get that down. Okay, so remember, I can tell if I'm on the mask layer. Now I have this little mask in my layers panel, and I can tell if I'm clicked on it because I have these little corners on the mask, or I have the corners on the actual image. I want to make sure they're on the mask, and I'm going to choose my brush tool. And I'm going to choose a brush that's fairly large. Let's go like 300 or 400 pixels. And I'm going to choose the hardness pretty low, like down to like 15% or so. Because what I want to do is make this look like the Jeep is sitting somewhere, right? And I want to make it real soft, and then I want to make those rocks kind of pop out. So what I want to do is make sure I'm on my mask layer, and now if I paint in white, it's going to show the image, right? If I paint in black, it's going to hide that image. Okay. Now I can tell my brush isn't responding like I want it to, and the reason it's not is because we were just in the brush panel changing our dynamics. So I actually want to make sure I change this back. I want the spacing. There we go. Okay. Sorry, you shouldn't have to do that step unless your brush isn't interacting the way you think it is. Remember, Photoshop tries to be smart and remembers those things for you. So if you do change your shape dynamics like we did in our session the other day, make sure you go back and change it, because it'll remember that. So now you can tell I can paint real quick in black, and it'll hide whatever I paint in black. Or if I undo that, if I paint in white, it'll show whatever's in white. Okay. I'm going to undo that as well. So what I want to do is, this is non-destructive, which is what I love about masks, because if you mess up, you just flip over your brush and paint in a different color, and then just magically it shows up. Now with a really soft brush, this is going to really help just to kind of show what's underneath the car. We don't need to really show what else is going on. Just a little bit of the background, so it's kind of in a place. And then maybe like these rocks. So I'm gonna jack my brush up and change my hardness to 0%, and I just want to click once or twice and kind of just hint that these rocks are connected, and this guy's going up. Now, where I would use this is like in a design. Maybe I have a title on, I have a couple of pieces of text or something like that, and I'm just fitting this in there. It's probably where I would use it. I'd probably come back in here and really kind of fade out the background, and really just fade in the Land Rover. So I'd flip over my brushes, and I'd really work at playing with this and making sure it looks nice and it's nice and soft with a soft brush. You can see it really makes that mask really soft on the edges. And you can see all it is painting white and black, and then that soft brush creates a gray. So that gray is transparent, as you can tell by the checkered background, is transparent. So if I add a new layer, just so you can see it, and put it on a white background, you can see it slowly transitions to white, which is really nice. And it does that because of the gray area. So you have total control over that. You can use your brush. I even would say play with the gradient under your paint bucket tool. There's a gradient, and if you go from black to white, and you're on your layer, if you click and drag your gradient tool, you'll actually be able to fade out that as well. So play with the gradient tool, and play with the gradient tool on your images, and you can see it just changes your mask from black to white, and it helps really play with with your layout. Also try your radial tools, and you can really start getting some really interesting things really quickly with masks, and they're fully non-destructive, so if you don't like, you can always go back and change it and tweak it and move it around, those things. So you can see just with our gradient tool, we're able to create a really nice soft kind of fade out, and that would be really good in a lot of designs. So play with it, play with your brushes, play with anything you paint black and white, your gradients, your clone stamp tool, any of that stuff will work there. Alright.